What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a review of what was going on today. I'm going to start off with BBIG. This was something that I actually put out pre-market today across all of my social media platforms, and was talking to everybody about the fact that there was something under the hood here. This could be a mover, and something to keep an eye on. Now, I didn't personally trade BBIG, but I will show you this. This thing did actually present a pretty nice little pattern right through here. So we had that resistance. We had an ascending triangle essentially that was building, and very early on in the day, this thing really popped and put in a nice high. Now, again, I'm not going to be trading everything I look at. This is a pretty picture perfect example of trading short term volatility. This is a perfect example of how you can get into a stock very early on in the day and be out very early on in the day, and where you can get on with the rest of the stuff that you want to do. Now, I'll just put this into perspective for you without going into where I would have gotten in exactly, how I would have managed risk, where my profit target taking levels would have been. I mean, this started to really move at about $7. Now, if you would have put on, say, a 2,000 share position at $7, and then maybe got out of this thing, say around 8.5, you would have made a point and a half of profit, and a point and a half on 2,000 shares equates to $3 grand. So this is a very simple example of what can potentially be experienced and realized with day trading low float volatile stocks if you know what you're looking for. Now, this was a nice trade. It was a nice call out first thing in the morning. And this does what a lot of low float stocks do. It pumps and then totally dumps. And it took a dump. And what it has done so far is it rallied all the way up. And this is where the trade would have been. This is where you would have been scaling out of your position. This is going to be a position where a lot of traders that don't know what they're doing are going to just arbitrarily buy at a discount, and this is where they're going to be getting hammered to the downside, left holding the bag. Technical level down through here is the top of the gap at 566. We found some support before it broke down. BBIG is toast. But again, didn't trade it, but there was a nice setup, and this is the exact same setup that I'm looking for almost 100% of the time. ADTX is what actually got put on today, and this was a pretty solid trade. You know, you can see that this thing ended up, closing up 36%. There was a pretty big downdraft of price action movement right after, or heading into lunch, really, and that's cool because that's not where I'm trading. Where I'm getting into these things and where I actually traded was right through here. Now, one thing, and this is interesting about trading, is this morning when I was talking to our community members, I was watching that first initial high being put in. And while I was waiting to employ my exact strategy, I was waiting, and I watched this thing absolutely take off from $3 all the way to $4.50. And I refuse to chase the stock. I have to see something very specific. And you can actually see that right down through here, it actually ended up pulling back and creating some support on the VWAP. That's one of the major components to my trade. And so I waited for this bounce right through here. So you got that floor, and then you got this 3-bar candlestick reversal pattern, and this is where I actually got in. I employed my targets on this thing, and the fact of the matter is that I actually traded a reversal just past high of day, and I got out of this with an 11% gain. Now, that's not too bad, but the fact of the matter is where I was getting out in and around this level, I left a lot on the table, and that happens a lot with my trading, because when I get into a day trade, okay, when I get into a day trade, it's church for me to take my target levels and take the position off. So I've got T1, T2, T3, target 1, 2, and 3. And when those targets get hit, it's a non-negotiable for me to take price action off, take a risk off, get my capital out of the market. And that's exactly what I was doing on ADTX. So the fact of the matter is, I have traders that I work with that were in this before me, and I was out of this before them, and they went on to absolutely crush this. So if you're one of those traders, I salute you. You did fantastic on this trade. Me personally, I absolutely have to follow every single thing that I need to see that I talk about in Ask a Trader constantly. And because of that, I hit my T1 and I was out of the trade and it was profitable. And it's the only trade that I put on. And that is the recap on what I did today. If you have any questions, you all know how to get a hold of me.